They say that those who do not learn from the past are doomed to repeat it. But what if the past isn't being taught? What if some dark events are being concealed from us? Well, today we will be discussing about it. The government did on people and still won't tell anyone. If you love such videos, then stay tuned for more updates. MK Ultra program. MK Ultra was a top-secret project run by the CIA during the Cold War. It was initiated with the main objective of developing mind control techniques that could be used against enemy agents or even entire populations. And guess what? They went pretty far in their twisted little research. LSD, otherwise known as the bad trip drug, played a significant role in their messed up experiments. In fact, they gave unsuspecting people massive doses of this stuff and observed their reactions. Can you imagine how messed up that is? It gets even worse. They also used electroshock therapy and hypnotic suggestion to try and control people's minds. It was like they were trying to create the ultimate brainwashing program. Now, where did they find these poor souls who had no idea what was coming their way? Well, they got unsuspecting CIA employees and their families involved. But that was just the tip of the iceberg. During the 1950s, they conducted experiments at hospitals and universities across the United States. They targeted everyone from mental patients to unsuspecting drug addicts. Even Canadian Prime Minister Lester Pearson's wife was given LSD without her knowledge. Imagine the international incident that caused. The most terrifying part of all this was that the CIA planned to use these mind control techniques on enemy spies and even entire populations. They thought they could turn people into sleeper agents or influence their decisions through subliminal messages. Talk about a scary thought. But wait, there's more. These experiments had a profound impact on our world. They paved the way for future unethical experiments and kept many people in the dark about what truly happened. Now you might ask, what happened to MK Ultra? Well, in 1973, the CIA's mind control program was finally exposed. This led to a huge scandal that shook the world. However, there was a catch. The documents related to this sinister project were mysteriously destroyed. You can't make this up. As a result, we may never know the full extent of MK Ultra's mind control experiments. It's like they wanted to bury the truth. Tuskegee Syphilis Study. Now let's shift our attention to a dark chapter in American history, the Tuskegee Syphilis Study. This unethical medical experiment conducted between 1932 and 1972 by the U.S. Public Health Service is a shameful stain on our past. The study involved 400 African American men, 200 with syphilis and 200 without. However, here's the kicker. The men were not informed that they were part of an experiment, and they certainly didn't know they had been lied to about their health. To make matters even more appalling, the participants were denied effective treatment for syphilis, even when it became available. It's hard to fathom the level of deceit and callousness involved in this study. The researchers claimed that they were providing free health care, but in reality, they were keeping these men sick and suffering. The worst part is that the men were enticed with free meals, hot showers, and burial insurance, all while they were unknowingly passing on syphilis to their partners. This study was not about finding a cure for syphilis. It was about observing the progression of the disease in African American men, who were denied the right to informed consent and access to treatment. It's a blatant violation of medical ethics and human rights. And the impact of this study goes beyond the individual participants. It has left a deep-rooted distrust between African Americans and the medical community. The legacy of the Tuskegee Syphilis Study serves as a reminder of the darkest aspects of human experimentation and the urgent need for transparency and justice in medical research. Stanford Prison Experiment. The Stanford Prison Experiment is a prime example of how far psychological manipulation can go. This infamous study, conducted in 1971 by Stanford University professor Philip Zimbardo, aimed to investigate the psychological effects of power and authority. What started as an academic experiment quickly spiraled into a horrifying display of human behavior. Participants were randomly assigned to the roles of guards or prisoners in a mock prison setting. However, what transpired was not part of the plan. The guards became increasingly abusive towards the prisoners, subjecting them to sleep deprivation, forced labor, and psychological torment. It was a disturbing demonstration of how quickly people can adapt to their roles, even when they are not the ones who have traditionally held power. The shocking part is that this experiment had to be halted just 6 days later due to the extreme behavior of the guards. It showed that the thirst for power and the willingness to abuse it can override any sense of morality or empathy. Government cover-ups. Throughout history, there have been numerous instances where the government has resorted to cover up to hide its wrongdoings. It seems like they will stop at nothing to protect their reputation and maintain control. One way they silence critics and cover up their actions is by destroying evidence. By getting rid of important information, they make it difficult for anyone to uncover the truth. For example, after the Tuskegee syphilis study was exposed, the U.S. government did everything in its power to cover up the evidence. They destroyed countless files and tried to discredit anyone who came forward with information. In another case, after the MK-Ultra mind control program was revealed, the CIA destroyed most of the documents related to the experiments. This meant that crucial details about the program, including the identities of the victims, were lost forever. These cover-ups are not only unethical, but they also prevent us from learning from our mistakes. By silencing whistleblowers, the government sends a message that it is not to be questioned and that those who speak out will be silenced. It creates an atmosphere of fear and discourages people from exposing wrongdoing. The cover-ups create a culture of secrecy and distrust. When the public is not allowed to know the truth, it leads to speculation and conspiracy theories. It becomes a never-ending game of cat and mouse where the government tries to hide its actions, and the people try to uncover them. Modern implications. The unethical experiments and cover-ups conducted by the government have left a lasting impact on our modern world. They have shaken our trust in authority and raised questions about the limits of scientific research. Moreover, these actions have real-world consequences. For example, the Tuskegee syphilis study has contributed to the underrepresentation of African Americans in clinical trials. Due to the historical mistreatment, many African Americans are hesitant to participate in medical research, which in turn affects the development of treatments and cures for diseases. The legacy of these studies serves as a warning for future generations. It reminds us that even in a democratic society, there can be a dark side to government-sponsored research. We must remain vigilant and demand transparency and accountability from those in power. Furthermore, these stories highlight the importance of ethical considerations in scientific research. As we continue to push the boundaries of medical and psychological research, we must ensure that the rights and dignity of all individuals are protected. Covering up unethical behavior does not solve the underlying issues. Instead, it breeds further mistrust and prevents us from creating a better future. In conclusion, the dark history of classified government experiments and subsequent cover-ups is a troubling part of our past. From the unethical medical experiments on African American men in the Tuskegee syphilis study to the disturbing findings of the Stanford prison experiment, these stories reveal the depths of human cruelty and the abuse of power. Additionally, the attempts to silence whistleblowers and destroy evidence have only added to the distrust between the government and the people. Moving forward, it is crucial to learn from these dark chapters, demand accountability from those in power, and uphold the ethical standards that protect the rights and dignity of all individuals. By staying informed and speaking out against injustice, we can work towards a future where such abuses of power are never repeated. Now, I want to hear from you. What do you think about these experiments? Leave your thoughts in the comment section below. And if you like this video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more updates. Thanks for watching, and let's continue to explore the complexities of our world together.